Hey, it's Eric here at Peachtree Classic Cars with a 1954 Mercury Monterey. I'm going to take her for a quick spin. So still running a hair cold. This is an all original matching numbers car with what we believe to be the original 86,000 miles, 87,000 miles almost. This car runs nice and straight down the road. I like to put my finger up there, call it my finger test while I'm driving. Now it's running the old original bias ply tires. I don't think they're the original ones, but they're pretty old. And you can feel it a little in the steering when you're driving it, but this is a original V8 with a 3-speed on the column, and I think it's a testimony to how easily the car drives, just because I am literally driving with a camera in one hand, and the car just drives so smooth. She's still warming up a little bit. See the thermometer there, still down. Oil pressure gauge works. Original temp gauge not working. The speedometer is not hooked up. It was squealing a little bit. Probably just needs to be lubed up. I'm not sure about the fuel gauge. The generator does work. Let's see, vent. Oh, these are fresh air vents. Okay, just checking to see. Not sure that the original blower is functioning right now or not. So I've actually never owned one of these before, so this is still a little new to me. But I'm falling in love with this car. We'll get back to it, but that's the original plate that it was sold with. And we've got the original paperwork from the original owner. Opens easily with one hand. I'm gonna shut her off. We'll take a look around the car. My battery light's flashing. Hopefully I make it through this video. I don't want to rush it, but so of course this is the original V8. And the car seems to have had some restoration done. We believe that there was one repaint done. Don't know how long ago. It does look like a more recent than original paint job, but I believe it was just a color match. All right, there we go. And the body on this car is super straight. I've only found 2 tiny spots of rust on the whole car. And one's in the trunk. Yeah, man, this is just a beautiful car. So one of the things that just first of all, I just love that this is just an iconic antique automobile. Just the color is so iconic. A 2-door Monterey. This was advertised as the most powerful, or quote unquote fastest car on the road in 1954 with 161 horsepower. And the really cool thing is, I'm anxious to get to, is when I pop the trunk and show you all the original documentation from the original owner, including the original bill of sale. I have a newspaper article from 1954 about the car and some maintenance records on it. So let's get up real close and be picky about it. Its original grille is in great shape. It shows no signs of ever being dinged, dented, or scratched. That being said, it's in original condition, so there are, you know, just when you get super up close, it's not 100% perfect. I don't think it could be completely polished out to be made to be perfect, but for the driver quality of that vehicle that it is, It's an awesome shape. This is the only spot I'm seeing on the trim in the front where there's some some of the flakes scratched off there. Other than that, in great shape. Lights work. The hood ornament and chrome piece here is in beautiful condition. All the glass is in great shape. Trim going down the sides is very nice and straight. No dents or dings. You know, sometimes you can tell when they've taken it off to paint the car and they dent it all up. So all the chrome is what I'm going to call in very good original condition. Not mint, not even maybe excellent, but I'm just going to say very good original condition. It's beautiful. All the trim around the windows and the rain guards. Glass is in excellent condition. This is not a show car. This is like what we usually, most of us try to call like a survivor almost. Of course, like I said, I believe it's had a paint job, so you can't call it like a true survivor. But just the fact that it appears to have been owned all its life by an elderly gentleman. Of course, bought it in 1954 up until just a few years ago when it went into the estate. So, same thing down the driver's side as the passenger. This car is extremely consistent from bumper to bumper. The paint is absolutely beautiful. It's not flawless, but it's darn near close. And like I said, this is not a show car. You know, this isn't the, you know, $80,000 show car that you see. In fact, this will be one of the least expensive. I'm pricing this to be one of the least expensive in the entire United States because I think it's an awesome original style condition. It's got a few little things, you know, like a couple of the gauges and stuff like that. But this car's a driver and it's absolutely pretty. Interior. Now, I believe the interior was redone years ago. It looks brand new. Headliner's in beautiful shape. Back seat. A few stains on the carpet or just possible fading. Maybe a little bit of bleach. Somebody was trying to clean it up and got some sort of a cleaner on there. I'm not sure. But just a couple little spots on the carpet. So if you wanted the interior to be perfect, you might want to put a carpet kit in it or at least have the carpet restained. You see these couple spots that it's got. Probably, like I said, maybe a cleaner of some kind. Somebody was trying to detail the car and it bleached it out. Dashboard's in awesome condition. And inside the glove box, we've got some original documentation as well. Even the old horn works. Doors open and closed nice and solid. It's got the original key for the rear. So I said I found a little bit of rust in here. Actually, right underneath, this is the spot of rust that I found pulling up the, so right here. It's the only spot of rust that I've seen on the whole car. There's a couple of spots of undercoating flaking off underneath. So this right here is awesome. So first of all, like I said, we'll get to it. So here, Rome, Georgia, Lincoln Mercury, 1954. This is the original tag it was registered with, the original plate that they put it on there. Mr. Delma Tidwell purchased this vehicle February 20th, 1954. And all the paperwork is right inside this original envelope. If we open it up, and like I said, I'm not trying to rush, but my camera is telling me that it's going to die in a minute. Original warranty paperwork, very fragile. Here we go. This February 27th, 1954. He wrote a check for $2,055.50. It's too bad they don't cost that. And here again, this is the payments. This is actually the original title. The title which remains said to be paid, note, and further obligations are paid in full. So, just wanted to show that. Of course, came with the original. This is the original. This is not a remanufactured, but original owner's manual. And the 161 horsepower V8. Let us know how easy it makes drive. Any driving. Mercury, 1954 Mercury. And so, really, you know, really cool to have these little documentations. Of course, it's got the original spare tire in here. Really clean underneath. I feel like I'm sorry, I feel like I'm pushing my luck with this battery, so I'm going to keep on moving. Because once it starts blinking, it usually only gives me a couple of minutes. Let's get up underneath here. I just wanted to show this undercarriage is so clean and rust free. The only spots of rust that I've seen is right here. Two little holes right there. This looks like it's rust, but it's not. It's actually the original undercoating peeling off want to be careful with it, but if you push on it, you can see it's just the original undercoating cracking on it. That's not unusual. Frame rails underneath are awesome. A couple of small oil leaks, or not a couple, just one. But look down this incredible condition undercarriage. And you can just tell, I mean, this is all the signs of the, you know, original owner having this car all its life, keeping it in the garage. I mean, absolutely beautiful underneath. Look at the spare tire holder, no rust. That's a piece that usually rusts out. Look, that's actually a plastic fork or a knife. Just wanted to show all the way up in here just how clean this car is. I mean, stunning. I'm really, really impressed. And I see a lot of cars. One thing, if you wanted to drive the car really a real good distance, you'd want to put new tires on it. Again, this side of the floor pan in fantastic condition. Rockers look great. Okay, one little spot, and sometimes I do discover things I don't see before. One tiny little spot of rust right there on the rocker. Rest of the rocker looks good. Of course, the frame rails are in immaculate condition. Inside the fenders, I was just saying that these tires are old, and for cruising around town a little bit, I've been driving around town a little bit and I have not been afraid to use them, but I wouldn't go on a road trip until I replace the tires. Personally, I would go ahead and upgrade to the newer radial style tires, something just a touch wider, and a radial white wall. Firestone, I believe, makes a radial white wall. They're a little bit expensive, but boy, are they nice to drive on. A lot more surface area to drive on. Well, there you have it. Looks like my camera held out for me. So absolutely beautiful 1954 Mercury Monterey, and really, really rare to find these under 25 grand, honestly. In the mid 20s is pretty normal, even just getting started on them and going all the way up. So I love this one. I love the fact that it's basically, this is about as original as they get when it comes to originality, besides maybe a barn find. And of course something like that would be close to the same price and still need restoration. So this car is completely 100% ready to drive and enjoy. Like I said, aside from maybe a brand new set of tires if you wanted to take it on a longer trip. But I think short trips around town, you could still use the tires. They have excellent tread on them. You can just tell that they're older, and that these last few years of the owner's life, of course, he didn't drive it as much as the first few years. So peachtreeclassiccars.com.